صل على رسوله الكريم أما بعد رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي يا رب صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم. Respected elders, friends, brothers and sisters, tonight will be the final and last night of Ramadan, and tomorrow will be the last day of Ramadan. So the question is, are we allowed to express happiness upon the departure of Ramadan, or should we be sad that Ramadan has come to an end? The great scholars, they say, when the month of Ramadan comes to an end, we shouldn't be sad, we should be happy. We should be joyful. And we should ask Allah that, Allah, when you placed a burden on our shoulder to fast, we fasted. Now it's your hukum to celebrate Eid and be happy and be joyful. So we have to be joyful. So it is wrong to be sad when Ramadan is going. We should thank Allah that, Allah, we thank you that you gave us the tawfiq to fast, we fasted. And with your tawfiq, we did the ibadat, we accepted. And now, for this very reason, Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the hikmah of on Eid day, Eid al-Fitr, the sunnah of Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was he would eat something. He would eat something. The hikmah is Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he left a lesson for me and you, that Allah Almighty in the month of Ramadan commanded us to fast from early dawn till the sunset. Now the Ramadan has gone, Allah is permitting us to eat. So Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam would begin his day with first, before coming to masjid, to eat something. Just to show Allah, when you said don't eat, we never ate. When you said eat, now we eat. So Ramadan, last night tonight, we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to accept our Ramadan, our fasts, and may Allah accept all the recitation of the Quran, all the dhikr which was done in the month of Ramadan, and make all these forms of zikr which took place by every individual in the month of Ramadan, make a means of our forgiveness. And may we continue with this zikr which we did in the month of Ramadan, even after Ramadan. The last juz, in which nowadays, in the night, after 27th, the Hufaz Ikram are reciting the last 10 surahs in Salatul Taraweeh, just to make it easy for me and you. Our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, or any other prophet besides him, they showed miracles. Whenever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent a prophet, in order to convince the people, because the nature of every person, every individual is different. Some would demand, show us the miracle, then we may believe in you. Some would only rely on the statement and say, yes, fine, you are Nabi, we accept you. So nature is different. So the prophets, when they came, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala armed them with the miracles. But our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was such, even before his birth, miracles happened. Before his birth. And these miracles were, in Arabic, the miracles which will happen on the hand of a prophet, they are known as mu'jiza. And the miracles which took place before our Prophet's birth, they are known as irhas. meaning introduction. The Nabi is about to come now. And the miracle, so many miracles happened before our Prophet's birth. There were stones who would give him salam. Assalamu alaikum ya Rasulullah. And our Prophet he used to say, I even know that very stone. When I passed by that stone, it used to give me salam. I even know that stone. And besides this, a miracle happened when the Abraha, the governor of Yemen, when he came and invaded Makkah al-Mukarramah with the intention to demolish the Ka'batullah. And when he was coming, some tribes, in order to defend Ka'batullah, they prepared the army to confront Abraha and his army. And they were defeated and they were killed. Why? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wanted to show us He doesn't need any protection from any human beings. Allah wanted to show, I will protect directly myself, the Kaaba. I don't need the protection of human beings. So Abraha, he approached, and while he was in the outskirts of Makkah al-Mukarramah, over there, he sent few of his men to Makkah to call the chief of Makkah al-Mukarramah so he can have a conversation with him, a dialogue with him. And the place they settled, it was a place where the Quraysh animals used to graze. His men came to Makkah al-Mukarramah, and they were introduced to our Prophet's grandfather Abdul Muttalib. And Abdul Muttalib clearly, announced, look, we cannot defend this house. We don't have anything to defend. So he said, the man said, well, the Abraha is calling you. He wants to see you. He wants to have a dialogue with you face to face. It is mentioned when our Prophet ﷺ, grandfather, when he went to meet Abraha, as soon as Abraha was sitting on his throne, he saw our Prophet ﷺ, grandfather, he straight away stood up. And he descended from his throne and he sat on the floor along with Prophet grandfather Abdul Muttalib. Because our Prophet's grandfather, Allah Almighty, his personality was such a charming personality. He was attractive, he was and handsome, he was. So he said, look, anyone, I never came here to kill anybody. My whole purpose is to just demolish the Ka'batullah, your sacred house. Abdul Muttalib, he didn't say anything. All he said, can you release my 200 camels which your army, your soldiers have captured? Can you release them? He was really shocked to hear this. And he said, look, when I first saw you, I began to respect you. But not all respect is all gone now. Because you never talked about, you never said anything about Ka'batullah. And you are worried about your own camels. So the respect I had earlier on in my heart for you is all gone now. I don't respect you now because you are the man who loves his own possession and you don't care about the sacred house. Our Prophet's grandfather replied by saying, the house you are going to demolish, it has an owner And these camels, they are my possession. I am the owner of the camels. I am worried about my own possession, ownership. The owner of Ka'batullah is there, he's alive, he's watching, he will take care of it. I don't need to say anything about it. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala showed that He is the caretaker of Ka'batullah. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent birds smaller than pigeons, smaller than the pigeons. They came from the seaside and they had a small pebbles, two in their claws, each in one claw, and two in their beaks. Each bird was carrying 4 pebbles. And there were in a huge, big flock of these birds flying over the army and the soldiers of Abraham. And they began to pelt them with the pebbles. And they were all destroyed there and then. But Abraham, Allah Almighty wanted to teach him a lesson. Allah Almighty created instantly in his body a deadly disease. He didn't die there. And some of his men tried to take him back to Yemen. And the deadly disease was such, his flesh began to fall from the body. Each limb began to fall from the body. Before he could reach his destination, he died on his way. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Ka'batullah, these two sacred places. And as you are all aware, what happened just recently in Medina al-Munawwara and Masjid al-Nabi. Masjid al-Nabi is a place regarding which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, La tarfa aswatukum fawqa sawti al-Nabi. Allah commands the believers not to even raise their voice above the voice of Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And this hukum applies even after Prophet's demise. And this applies when one is in the Rawdi Athar, front of Rawdi Athar, front of Prophet's grave. This hukum applies there that one should not raise his voice. One should not even say Salatu Salam loudly. But unfortunately, what happened, the politician from Pakistan, Shahbaz Sharif, now the Prime Minister came, and some people they started raising slogans against him, that he thief, Riaz, just outside Masjid al-Nabi. When Sahaba Ikram, whenever they wanted to talk and say something to someone in the Masjid al-Nabi, they would not say anything, they would take him outside. They would take him outside. So please make dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that may Allah protect our Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. There must have been some planning behind this. And some people must have, the people who were raising the slogans, who were there? They were beshara, these laborers. And they have been arrested. What's going to happen to them now? The masterminds, the people who were behind, and these poor chaps, who just started raising slogans in Masjid al-Nabi, outside Masjid al-Nabi. So Masjid al-Nabi is a place where we go and we just keep our voices down. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, if you raise voice, you may lose your amals. All your amals, all your good actions will go to waste. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He will, till the day of judgment, inshallah, He will protect Haramain Sharifain. And particularly, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will protect the grave and the blessed body of our Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. In Nuruddin Zangi, rahmatullahi, the king, when those two Christians, when they wanted to take the body out of Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam from his grave, so this conspiracy legacy is going on. And we need to make a dua to Allah, to protect our Prophet's, the Athar. This is the demand of our Iman, that we make a dua for Haramain Sharifain. Allah is there. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has destroyed Abraha, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants to test me and you as well, our Iman. How much love we have for Allah and for His house and for Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Allah can send the angels as He sent in Badr. But Allah wants to test our Iman, how much Iman we have. He wants to show other people. He knows how much Iman we have. But Allah wants to expose people's Iman. With all those battles took place, Allah wanted to expose the hypocrites, who are hypocrites and who are loyal and who are sincere. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make a dua that may Allah protect Haramain Sharifain. So he was destroyed. And the other surahs, there's a surah in which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about the kuffar. They wanted to compromise the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and Iman. They wanted to say, they came to Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam with the offer. They said to Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, look, we will give you wealth to the extent that we will make you the richest person of Makkah. And if you wish, we can give you in your marriage. Any woman you wish to marry, we will give it in your marriage. But the condition is one. You stop speaking ill of our idols. You stop speaking ill of our idols. Don't speak against our idols. This is our condition. We will give you everything, but please don't speak against our idols. And if not, if you don't accept this, then why don't you compromise with this? 1 year we will worship your Lord, and 1 year you worship our Lord. This here a lesson to be learned. We should never ever compromise with anyone on any matter of faith. We can compromise on everything, but not on the matter of deeds. Never. We will lose our Iman. And they said to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, okay, if you don't agree with us, just do one thing. Just at least touch. Just go and touch our idols. Then the verse, قُلْ يَا أَيُّهَا الْكَافِرُونَ, revealed. No compromise on this. You have your religion, I have my religion. I will stick to my religion. I will not bow before your idols. So the lesson we need to learn from here, we should never ever, haqq is haqq. We should never bow before the falsehood. We should never compromise with anyone on our deen. Deen comes first. Deen always comes first. Then comes our parents, and our relatives, and our friends. Deen is first. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also in one of the surahs, 10 surahs, talks about the Abu Lahab, Surah Lahab, in which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala referred his wife Jameel. Abu Lahab's wife, her nickname was Jameel. And Allah says, Malat al-Hatab, the carrier of firewood. Meaning, the carrier of firewood, meaning, she was a talebearer. The Arabs, anyone who was a talebearer, they would refer to him as a fire, carrier, firewood carrier. Meaning, when you kindle a fire on the wood, the fire burns, the wood burn. Similarly, a talebearer, what does he do? He creates the enmity in two brothers' hearts, two friends. He will come to me and say something, so and so is saying against you this, and he will go to you and he will say, I was saying against you this and that. And Fuzail bin Ayaz used to say, there are a few deeds that, they just ruin all the righteous deeds of a believer. Backbiting, talebearing, and lying. And lying today, today, we don't even consider lying as a sin. When in the Hadith, Prophet ﷺ, he says, lying, it reduces one's risk. Today we have, these complaints, we have, financially, these people are so nowadays facing difficulties. Our Prophet ﷺ, he says, lying, it brings reduction in your risk, in your livelihood. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed the last surahs. Our Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, a Sahabi came to him once and he said, "O Prophet of Allah, I love Surah Ikhlas. I love Surah Ikhlas." And he said, your love for Surah Ikhlas will take you to Jannah. Will take you to Jannah. On another occasion, Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said to Sahaba Ikram, "You come and gather here, I will recite 1/3 of the Quran." When they all gathered, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam recited Surah Allahu Ahad, and he said this surah is equal to 1/3 of the Quran. Which means if you read it 3 times, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will reward you with the full reward of the recitation of Quran. And our Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam also was done magic on him. Labid, he was a Jew. Labid bin Asim, he was a Jew, he was a hypocrite. He used to come to Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam's gathering. And he was a magician. He did a magic on Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And the effect of this magic was, a Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam used to get confused whether if I've done this or not. And then through Jibreel alayhi salatu, one narration, and another narration, he saw a dream, 2 angels came, one standing by his head and one standing by his feet, and one is asking the other, what happened to him? He said, "Oh, someone done a magic on him." And the other one asked, "Who done it?" He said, "Labid bin Asim." "How did he do it?" He said, "He did it on the comb and our Prophet's hair." "And where has he buried it?" The other one said, "It's buried in a well." So Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam woke up and he said, the Sahaba came to the well to take up the comb, and the comb was taken out, and our Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam untied. There were Labid bin Asim, he tied the knots. And our Prophet, he had a hair of Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and he tied the knots on the hair. And our Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he untied the knots, and our Prophet then he was well. So our Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam used to have Aisha radiallahu ta'ala anha, he said, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam used to read, whenever he used to fall ill, he used to read the Qul Huwallahu Ahad, Qul A'udhu Birabbil Falaq, Qul A'udhu Birabbin Nas, he would blow on his hand, and then he would wipe the hand over his body. When our Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was on his bed of death, and he was suffering, he had a pain, she said, I used to recite the Qul Huwallahu Ahad, Qul A'udhu Birabbil Falaq, Qul A'udhu Birabbin Nas, and I would blow it on Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam's hand, and then he would rub it on his body. And these 3 surahs are such, they are protection against all the afflictions. And they say, Qul A'udhu Birabbil Falaq is a protection against the worldly calamities of this world. And Qul A'udhu Birabbin Nas is the protection against the calamities of hereafter. So I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, give us a tawfiq to recite the Quran, and give us a tawfiq to carry on with our ibadat even after Ramadan. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept this majlis and make it means of our forgiveness. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم. وصلى الله تعالى على خير خلقه محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. Inshallah, tomorrow will be the last majlis.